Hi there guys, I'm Lucy here with Mark Walton. We're here at Gamescom 2014. Mark, we've been seeing a PlayStation 4 game this morning that we thought was going to be out on PS3, but times changed.
It was dead, it was gone for years, and then all of a sudden, like the Phoenix, it's back.
It rose from the ashes.
Rose from the ashes. So this is Until Dawn, which was originally a schlocky sort of teen horror thing, and now they've gone, you know what, screw it, we've got all the power on the PS4. I mean, all the graphics, all the lighting effects, all that facial animation stuff, let's make it dark, let's make it gritty, let's make it proper horror.
So the PS3 version of the game was going to be first person, you'd use the PlayStation Move as like your torch. Now it's PS4, it's third person. It has some, I mean, that facial animation and the motion capture is incredible. So they've got some big names. They have Hayden Panettiere from Heroes in one of the roles, and it's quite LA Noire-like, I thought, as well, in the fact that you pick up items and you can inspect them and go,
Yeah,
well, the facial animation is out of this world.
No, the facial animation looks amazing. Like, you can tell they've done a lot of work with the actors to sort of do that, to get it right. You know, you mentioned there LA Noire. I definitely got that from the sort of the way you pick up clues, and it uses the motion controls of the pad. So yes, it doesn't have move, but there's still an element of that. So you sort of turn objects over to look for clues, and it also reminded me a bit of Heavy Rain.
Yes.
As well, and a lot of the ways you interact with things, and it's sort of, you know, it's trying to tell a story above all else. And yes, there are gameplay elements in there, but it is about the story, and that's probably the most interesting part of the game, is that it's not just one story.
No.
This bad boy has what they claim as thousands of different endings.
So it's a real butterfly effect kind of thing, and in fact, when you make a decision or you pick up something, a butterfly does appear on the screen to illustrate that you've made a potentially game-altering choice, which is quite cool. And at the end of the demo, the guys from Supermassive ran us through, and he was like, so I picked up this clue, but I missed this one, I made this moral decision. Well, yeah, it was a pretty heavy moral decision. But it affects completely how your game's going to play out. It's not just picking an ending. All of these little bits come together and really change how your story plays out.
Yeah, it was quite amazing. Like they were saying that there's thousands of permutations for the ending, but in between that, there are actually lots of little decisions that only affect that individual story as well. And so as your sort of game goes on, like, you just got so many branches in which your story can go. And they were saying that all the characters in the game can die.
Yeah, so no one's
at any
safe.
point. Like, you can screw that up totally, and they'll all be dead, and then, you know, you've got a completely different ending, which I think is super cool. But onto the actual game itself, we saw
we saw a decent chunk. We saw about half hour.
Yeah, a decent half-hour chunk, and there were lots of good scares. I mean, certainly in the room we were in, they blacked out all the lights, and there was
that woman who screamed.
There was a woman who screamed. Yes.
Oh my god. No, the thing I thought about it is, so like the original PS3 version was kind of like those I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of quite campy teenage horror movies. This one kind of felt like one of those horror movies you get from like the mid-noughties, where everything was like a bluey grey palette color tone, and everything was really serious, and you had those names that you'd recognize. And this is kind of what the new Until Dawn felt like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was some cool, I mean, Scary Clown Man.
Oh my god, he was like Pennywise the Clown, but his jaw was super weird, and he had that classic horror movie distorted voice.
Yeah.
And it kind of had elements of Saw in it as well. It's all the psychological manipulation. I quite liked how it had the previously on. So every time you load up your game, if you've not played it in a while, it'll show you like a little recap of your decisions, your game-altering decisions, in a kind of, you know, previously on Lost type situation, but previously on Until Dawn. That was quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're
very
not,
cinematic feel.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not talking too much about the story here, because, you know, it's a story-based game. We'll give it away. But suffice to say, you know, it was quite creepy, quite scary, and I'm super keen to play it.
Yeah, me too. So Until Dawn's going to be coming out on PlayStation 4. I'm certainly very excited to see more of it.
Yep.
For all the latest here from Gamescom, stay tuned here to GameSpot. So, for all the latest, make sure you check. Oh, bollocks. Do that again. This goes so well.